Hello, my name is Miriam, nurse practitioner with For Your Health Media. We're going to talk today about 15 gift ideas that you can give to someone who's living with diabetes. Of course, what is diabetes? Diabetes is when the body is not able to use the sugar properly. So as a result, the person start having problems. So one of the first things I want to mention is the kitchen scale. A scale to measure food items so that it will help the person living with diabetes to eat more healthier. The other thing we can talk about is socks. Let's make sure that the loved one is wearing socks. So they are not going about in the house with no socks on, because once someone with diabetes get a cut on their foot, chances are it may get bad and then get into gangrene. The wound will not heal because of their blood sugar level being high. The other thing you could think about as far as trying to get a gift for your loved one is an insulin cooler bag. For a person that is using insulin, it's very important that to keep that insulin at the right temperature. If not, the potency of that insulin will go bad. So especially when they're traveling, they'll really need a bag that has the cooling gel so that you keep that insulin cool. So that would be a good idea to give, a cooler bag for insulin storage to a person with diabetes. Another item I'm thinking about is a mirror. If you need a mirror, and people say, what do you need a mirror for? Because sometimes I see my patients and I'm asking them, how often do you check your feet? They say, oh, I don't check it. I said, okay, well, you need a mirror. And what do you need a mirror for? Every day, in the morning, evening, you can go ahead and take that mirror, put your foot out and look at the bottom of that foot to make sure that there's no cuts, no open areas there. Because when you have a cut as a diabetic, there's a big chance that that wound will not heal. That's why sometimes you see people with amputated toes and different things like that, because whenever they have a cut and they don't know that that cut is there, by the time they know it, it has become a wound that is not healing. So it's very important for a diabetic to be inspecting their foot. So you can get a mirror from any of these stores and give it to someone, as a gift, so that they'll be able to be checking their feet every morning, for that. The other thing that you could think about is a measuring spoon, especially for the cook, the diabetic cook, the one that wants to cook, so that they can measure everything, make sure they are not overdoing anything as far as their sugar intake, because they don't need that too much sugar, they need that control. So if you give them a measuring spoons, that would be a very good gift as far as taking care of themselves, every day. The other thing I want to think about is the glucose tablets. What is glucose tablets? Just sugar tablets. Sometimes they have it as glucose gel. It's very important for a person with diabetes to have that or carry that with them, because there are times where they will go into low blood sugar levels, and we call that hypoglycemia. So sometimes, they have not eaten for so long, or the person, maybe they took insulin earlier and they did not eat anything. So the insulin didn't have any, sugar to work on. So then they will end up getting to low blood sugar, to where they are either sweating, and if care is not taken, they could easily lose consciousness. So they need those tablets so that they can carry them around with them for those emergencies. Again, known as, low blood sugar or hypoglycemia. They also need insulin belts, like if they're in exercise. The other idea is an insulin belt for a pump. There are some people, especially people that have what is known as type 1 diabetes, their diabetes has to be treated with insulin every day, so they need a belt. They have insulin pumps, some of them, so if they are physically active and they want to exercise, if you get that belt for them, they can just put that pump inside the belt and still exercise with no problem. It's not visible, nobody can see that. To be very convenient for them. How about books? Yes, someone with diabetes, they need a books. They need cookbook to help them with a healthy life, and they might even need a book for self-care. How to take care of yourself, how to eat well, how to exercise, how to take care of your body, all those things. So yes, a cookbook for someone living with diabetes would be good. I don't like saying diabetics. Someone living with diabetes. So that would be another good gift idea for the holidays. The other thing I'm thinking about is a nutrition or a fitness tracker. They can keep that to make sure that they're doing their exercise that they need to do, or the food, they're having the right correct intake. They're not overeating sugar, they're not overeating on anything, but they're eating what they need to eat. So a fitness track will be very good. How about a medical alert? Medical alert will let anyone know that somebody have diabetes. You can get a bracelet with an engraved information on it, or a necklace with an engraved information saying this person have diabetes. In that way, they end up in hypoglycemia or low blood sugar. Somebody finding them will not think that they're drunk, but will render help for them. Call 911, give them, glucose, or help them out. Because there are cases where you see patients that have diabetes and went into hypoglycemia, and for some reason, somebody was thinking that they were drunk. So a loved one with a glucose tablets or medical alerts, that would really be a very good lifesaver for them. The other thing I love to talk about is insulin bottle protector. Some people with diabetes that take insulin, they have the insulin little bottles, and those bottles are not that durable. So if they drop, they can easily break, and insulin is very expensive. So they have their little plastic containers that you wrap around the bottle, so that even when the bottle drop on the floor, it just bounces, it doesn't break. So that would be another good idea, to get for someone with diabetes. And this is very simple. The next idea, moisturizing lotion. People with diabetes, for whatever reason, the skin is always extremely dry. So they need that lotion so that they can, be lotioning. So you can give them, some of them, they even write on it, lotioning, diabetic lotion, or moisturizing lotion from some of these, like, name brands, which I don't want to mention, but, you can get some of these re-moisturizers so that they can keep moisturized every day. That would be a very good gift idea for someone with diabetes. How about house slippers? In the house, someone with diabetes shouldn't be going about with no barefooted. They should always either have socks on and also have house shoes on. Again, go back to when we were talking about, you don't want them to have a cut and then they end up with not knowing, and then it doesn't heal, and before you know it, they're going into amputation because, of the blood sugar level. Okay, and number 14, one of the other gifts, ideas that you can think about for someone with diabetes is what is known as a glucose monitor kit. What that does is, there are some people with diabetes that when their blood sugar is at a very high level, the doctor might say, okay, go ahead and start checking your blood sugar. Sometimes these things are very expensive, especially for those that don't have insurance. So if you can afford to buy one for your loved one who's living with diabetes, this would be a very great gift. It comes with everything in it. It has its strips, it has the lancets, with the little needle. It has a little meter that they can check the blood sugar. Write it down so that whenever they go to see their doctor, they can take the results to help with the better management of that diabetes. The last item is just information. Free medication. Do you know that, there are some medications for diabetes that are free? So some of these drugstores, they sell them for free. Meaning you go there, just make sure that your loved one, when they go to the pharmacy and they have prescription, they don't have insurance, they can ask to see if that drug is free. Or better yet, at the doctor's office, they can check which of the drugs are free. And also, there are some programs, they have like what is known as a good RX cards, things like that, to where you go to the drugstore and you get medication, that is, 100% free, or sometimes, 80% free. So those are some of the good things that you could give to your loved one. Again, these are some of the 15 ideas that I think that, if you use it as an, gift for your loved one, you'll really, truly appreciate it. So have a great day and come back to our next video on For Your Health Media. Thank you so much.